Hi, this is Craig Stocks, and this is my photo critique of the day. Today's photo was provided to us by Len Marsho. So Len, thank you so much for submitting the photo for us to enjoy and take a look at. The note from Len told me that this was from the Rio Grande Gorge in New Mexico. And it's a real interesting scene. She appears to be at an overlook up above the Rio Grande River, and the overlook is positioned so she's able to look down the length of the river and through this very deep gorge. Interesting lighting, a very challenging lighting situation that she has here. It appears to be late afternoon, so the sun coming in at a fairly low angle from the left, so the left side of the canyon is all in very deep shadow, and even about 2/3 of the way up the right-hand side, this is all deep shadow, and then bright sunlight on the upper part of the gorge or canyon, and then a very bright sky with some clouds floating by. So difficult lighting situation with a lot of dynamic range. And looking at the histogram, we can see that she's done a very good job of maintaining detail in all of the dark areas, and at the same time maintaining detail in the bright areas as well. So there's detail in this sunlit area of the gorge along the rim, and also up in the sky and in the clouds. So good job handling a very challenging lighting scenario. A couple of things that kind of caught my eye. The first thing that caught my eye, to be honest, is if you look in the sky, you can see some circular patterns that appear to be from using a hard-edged brush to do a local filter or burning and dodging. Somehow, I'm assuming darkening the sky, and the brush left some tracks in the sky. So that might be something that you could revisit in Photoshop or whatever editing program you're using to use a softer brush or to smooth those out. The other thing that really jumps out at me when I look at this, to me, the real subject is the river through the center of the image and the way it's down in deep shadow but reflecting the sky. And in fact, when we look in detail, we can see the clouds reflecting in the river, so it's a very clear reflection and a very bright streak kind of weaving through the center of the image. And to me, that's kind of the star of the image. The rocks in the foreground, because of the way the sun is catching the tops of those rocks, it's creating some bright distractions along the bottom edge that take away from the main subject. So the main thing I think about when I look at this image is post-capture, cropping it in Photoshop or Lightroom or wherever. And of course, in a perfect world, when you're standing at the overlook is a great time to explore different focal lengths. Besides wide angles, try a medium lens or even a telephoto lens and pick out different areas of the scene that might make compositions all on their own. Kind of a scene within a grander scene. If we turn on the crop tool, for instance, and look at a couple alternatives, if we crop out these rocks in the foreground and maybe crop out some of the sky to make it more of a panoramic image, that creates more of a focus on the central part of the image, and we don't have the bright rocks then taking away from the scene. Not sure if this bridge should be level or if it should be at a little bit of an angle. Sometimes optically level and actually level can be two different things. If there's not a good vertical reference, sometimes you're better off going for visually level rather than truly level. So I just rotated that a little bit. And I think we could even crop in other varieties. For instance, if we crop in just from the left, we can put that river on the right 1/3 point, which is kind of a power point within the image, and create it's still basically a balanced image, but now we've got a couple different shapes. We've got this interesting shape on the left-hand side, and the dark area on the left is balanced by this wedge of sunlight on the right, and then the mountains in the distance. And you could even play with more of like a telephoto view, cropping, again, either in the computer or cropping with the camera when you took the picture. Looking for something like that with just the bridge balanced here with the river flowing up between it. And I feel like that makes a nice strong composition. And if you were interested in going even a little bit more abstract or a little bit more distant from the actual scene, you could crop in a little bit more. And in fact, you could go all the way to just photographing that river and the reflection and having a scene that's somewhat removed from reality, but still just a simple photograph, and it becomes almost an abstract shape. But those are all just different scenarios, different alternatives that you might look at. Overall, I think this is a real nice image. It's a great scene. You've done a great job handling very difficult lighting situation in the late afternoon. Canyons and gorges like this are always difficult because of the range of brightness from the deep shadows to the bright sunlight to the bright sky, and you've done a real good job handling that. So Lynn, thank you so much for submitting the image, and if anyone else would like to submit an image to be reviewed, just send it to me by email or by a Facebook message. And as always, I hope you all have a great day. Thanks.